Welcome back to Another Thing. I'm Larry Menti. We are pleased to be joined by Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein. I want to get to a couple local things, as I said. Let's start with fracking. In Pennsylvania, it has been a boom to the economy. In New York, they imposed a ban. That's not the case in Pennsylvania. As a matter of fact, the current governor, who is a liberal and a Democrat, would like to increase the fees so the state could make more money. It is difficult, I would think, even for somebody with the Green Party, to say to a state, no, this is not the way you can make money when you have so many jobs on the line.
Exactly, and that's why we call for a Green New Deal. Because if you're just saying no to jobs in the economy, that's not going to fly. People are really worried about how they're going to put food on the table and, hold on to their housing and get their kids into college and so on. So the first worry is always, how do we survive? That's why we put the two together and say we can fix our climate and at the same time that we create the jobs we need. So we're calling for a federal emergency jobs program, actually, to create the jobs, to do this transition that we must do. Why should we have to choose between a water supply, between clean air, between our health and the health of our workers, or jobs? What good are the jobs if the workers are getting sick?
Are you not calling for a ban of fracking in Pennsylvania?
Well, let me say, we are calling for a ban at the same time that we provide an emergency jobs program. We're calling for them both. We want to create the jobs in clean, renewable energy, the jobs in healthy food and sustainable food production, the jobs building public transportation systems powered by renewable energy, the jobs weatherizing our homes, installing the solar panels on our roofs. We can create so many jobs now in the energy system of the future that's good for our economy, it's good for our health, it's good for our water supply. We can have it all by
You know why
doing
people
the right
are scared
thing.
when you say that, though? They're scared because they have a job right now, or they're making money right now, and it's happening from fracking, and what you're talking about is the great unknown.
Well, actually, we're talking about both at once. So we're talking about actually beginning these jobs right now, an emergency jobs program that would start our first day in office. We're talking about creating these jobs. Because if we destroy our water supply, there's no going back. Just look at what's happening in Oklahoma right now, where there's an incredible drought to start with. They're having these earthquakes from the fracking. Water supplies all over are being polluted by the fracking. There's growing health data now to show that the surrounding communities are getting sick from the pollution of their water, from the outrageous air pollution that results from this. Why should we be forced to accept economic development that destroys our health, that destroys our land, that destroys our water supply?
Glad you said that. That's a perfect segue to the Coastal Zone Act in Delaware. It was enacted in 1971, been around for a long time. It is recently coming under attack, and part of it is because of the fracking. Much of the natural gas in Pennsylvania is going to renewed, reused factories in Pennsylvania just across the border from Delaware, and Delaware is saying, wait a second, we have such regulations because of the Coastal Zone Act. We're not getting that business. We have to change a little bit. We have to loosen some of the regulations along the coastal zone so industry can come in here. I know this is a problem across the country. Where do you stand on this?
What I'm hearing from people is that they so value the tourist industry. They value the economic development that comes from preserving their green spaces, from having the coastal zones that have been protected and their riverways. So it's not a question of jobs or no jobs. It's whether we have healthy jobs or whether we have jobs that make us sick, that destroy our rivers and destroy our environment. And thanks again, to the leadership of the local indigenous people, the Lenape indigenous tribe here, who's been leading the charge to protect the water here in the same way that the Standing Rock Sioux have been leading the charge to protect our water in Pennsylvania. We have a drought going on right now in the Northeast. We have a drought going on in the Southwest. We have unprecedented fires throughout the West Coast. We've had the flooding, and mentioned, needless to say, that this area around Delaware is extremely vulnerable to flooding. So, we're really on the brink of a climate emergency right now, as well as a jobs emergency. That's why we're calling for an emergency jobs program to create the jobs where we need it, that continue the protection that Delaware has actually provided through its really model coastal zone development law.
We are running out of time. I will be at the September 26th debate. I know you're going to be there, although you are not scheduled to go on the stage. Are you going to try to get in again? Could you be arrested again for your actions?
Well, we'll see what the strategy is as the time gets closer, but one thing is for sure, is that we will be there. We will not be quiet about this assault on our democracy that's taking place in this election. In America, we not only have the right to vote, we have a right to know who we can vote for in an election where people have rejected in unprecedented numbers these two candidates that are being shoved down our throats. And when people are clamoring for other choices, they have a right to know who those choices are. Join us, go to Jill2016.com and join our campaign for open debates and real democracy.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking to us. Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein. We're coming right back.